Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at Pomo in the, Great League here right now. Great League is coming back later on today. If you saw the video already yesterday, I made a video about the top teams for the Open Great League, where a lot of very decent teams are around. But today we're going to take a look at Pomo, or Pawmot. I don't know how to really say this one. They all have like similar names. But this is going to be, of course, the third stage evolution there of Pomi, where you have to walk 25 kilometers again for this Pokemon. I already showcased it for the Ultra League, so yes, I walked again 25 kilometers to test this Pokemon out here today for the Open Great League. This Pokemon actually is a lot of fun, and I can highly recommend you to try it out at least. It's not like the Pokemon that you're going to use all the time, where you're going to say, yeah, I'm going to climb the ladders with this one, but just so much fun to play this thing, because you're going to be able to nearly one-shot everything. There were Pokemon available, or like Pokemon that I played against, where I was like, there's no way I'm going to knock them out, right? And I completely annihilated them. Of course, those battles here were played against some people from Twitter. They didn't know what I was using, and I didn't know what they were using. Also, my Registeel, just like here, of course, again, no Zapcan debuff, where it doesn't really matter. Honestly, my Registeel is broken. Like, this thing is never getting debuffs. Like, literally. I was, like, definitely below 50% debuff chance for this Pokemon today. But it doesn't really matter in the first game, if he's still going to be able to win. But keep this in mind for the rest of the games as well. It was insane again. Honestly, I don't know. Like, Registeel is not really my friend. But yeah. Here we're going to take a look at the team. We're going to have Manta in the lead. This Manta is my main answer for Gligar. This is basically my only real answer for Gligar, as my backline is really weak to it. So, we're going to encounter here the Azumarill in the lead, where we can now swap out into a Registeel, which is going to align against an Alolan Marowak. Not so great for us, but it is actually kind of fine, as we will be able to go for a Zap Cannon and get the attack drop here, actually, which is nice. So far so good, and we're actually going to get another one off. And spoiler alert, it's also going to get the attack drop. So far we are actually in the clear. That's exactly the rate that we are supposed to get, because we didn't even see if the other one debuffed because it knocked them out. So far so good. We are going to be in 2 debuffs out of 3 Zap Cannons, which is fine. We can go for an Aerial Ace. Going to get the knockout, and we're gonna see the Pomo here as well, coming in against the Azumarill, having to shield up the move. Of course, a Play Rough would be super effective because we are part fighting type, but we're gonna see now the Sableye coming in, and let's take a look on how much damage one Wild Charge does from a Pomo against a Sableye. It nearly one-shots it, and this Pokemon is just so insanely attack weighted that it just does so much damage against so many Pokemon. Here, Azumarill comes back in. I can go for another charge move. Wild Charge going to get the final shield, and I try to swap out, and I can just swap out and go for an Aerial Ace against the opponent. They're most likely going to be able to reach a Play Rough against me, but they need 2 charge moves in order to knock me out. And as you can see, I have so much energy here right now that I can just go for the Aerial Ace and win this game. Good game to the opponent, well played there, but Pomo was definitely too much for that Sableye. Next opponent, Toxapex in the lead. This was actually my favorite battle of them all, I think. So, you're going to have a very bad lead here in general, but I'm going to try to swap out onto the charge move into my Registeel. You see, it worked out insanely well. Not. But you're going to now see the Medicham coming in, and I'm just going to count the Zapcan. Maybe just Perception. Here, okay, we are now, four Zapcans in, and we are in 2-2, so like 50% chance right now, as I can try to get to another one, which I think gets the debuff this time around, which is kind of nice. So we are 3 with debuff, 2 without debuff, as we can now swap into our Manta, and we were able to get a shield advantage here, which is kind of nice. And we can even go for another charge move, which the opponent decides to shield up for whatever reason. I was not really expecting this one, but I'm going to be able to now let this next move go through. It's going to be a Power Punch, as they're going to go for another charge move here, which is going to be the Ice Punch. They're running Power Punch, Ice Punch. Of course, in the current meta, you have to run Ice Punch. There's no way around it, to be fair. But now we're going to see the Toxapex coming back in, and I'm going to save my shields for my Pomo. Pomo is the way to win this game for me. I will be able to swap out into this one, and I'm of course going to shield up the incoming charge move, which is going to be another Brine from the opponent, as they're going to decide to swap into the Chestnut. And I was like, yeah, there's no way I can win this game. I would have to one-shot the opponent's Chestnut here, and Chestnut is not the squishiest Pokemon. It's fairly bulky, and close comment is just neutral, and honestly, it just completely annihilates the opponent. And of course, we're going to have a Wild Charge stored now for the opponent's last Pokemon as well, and this is going to go down as well. So, Pomo had a great time here. Next opponent, this was a wild game. It was a little bit of a fun one as well, but we're going to have the worst possible lead of Magnezone against us, which is actually a core breaker for our team because it kind of beats the entire team. Great play by the opponent to go for an extra fast move. I expected them to go straight basically for the wild charge there, but they decide to get an extra fast move in. Great play there, got a free volt switch in, which is really, really important for them as they can now farm me down in time. But it's at least, like, look at the damage now from Spark of Pawmot. It's insane how much damage this is. This is resisted damage, of course. But of course, the opponent is now double debuffed. Now actually 4 times debuffed. And we can at least shield another move up because it would do a ton of damage. We're insanely squishy. Even though it's resisted, it will do most likely 80%. So we can now farm them all the way down. And in comes the Galvantula. Even worse for me, of course, is my Mantine in the back does not appreciate this Pokemon either. And I can try to go for a full farm down, which works out pretty well. As they're going to have in the back the Regieleki. So a triple electric team where my Mantine literally just fears it all, and we lose on this one because our Pomo gets farmed down from the lock-on, and I'm fairly certain that the lock-on damage there was more than 1. I'm fairly certain it was like 2 or something. Let me actually check, because you think like lock-on can only do 1 damage per turn, but no, it's actually not the case. We have like some trolling here around because I went for Hyper Beam instead of the Thunder, knowing that they're most likely going to win. But I think if you debuff yourself that much like my Pomo was, I think it actually turns to 2 turns per damage per lock-on, which is kind of funny, especially as Regieleki is very attack rated. But here we're going to now see the opponent swapping into the Lickitung, which I actually can take advantage of because I now got the opponent to range for just 1 Focus Blast, as I am also going to be able to just take all the moves of my Registeel. There's a thing as well here. If the opponent is swapping in their Lickitung, basically the main damage output from them is going to be through the licks against the Registeel, where they can actually flip it in the 2-shield scenario. But here, Body Slam plus also the other charge move doesn't really do too much damage. And here I was hoping that I would be able to survive this incoming Hydro Cannon from the opponent, which I'm not able to. And now I have to go into my Pomo, which is, yeah, basically bad against both of the Pokemon from the opponent, as the opponent can still go for a charge move. I just hope they survive it. I just try to get rid of some energy from the opponent. I don't. And like this, I'm in a really tough spot because Mantine is decent against the opponent's Pokemon, but also has to basically go ahead and, yeah, kill 2 Pokemon that are both doing some decent damage. I was forced to try to farm them down here, and I was actually not able to. I can, by the way, now confirm that actually Lock-On doesn't do 2 damage. It does actually 3 damage against Pomo when you're 4 times debuffed, which is absolutely insane, which like you would never really expect to see. But Regieleki is insanely attack rated, and Lock-On, instead of, even though it says it does only 1 damage in general, it does actually 3 damage to Pomo there, which explains why it got so easily farmed down, which I didn't even know that it could go up to 3 damage, but that's absolutely wild. But yeah, let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to now see the Carbink in the lead. Horrible lead for us, and you're going to see me swap not into my Registeel, I'm going to swap into my Pomo. Pomo resists the fast move, which doesn't really look like it resisted, but he's still going to have to, of course, shield up a potential Moonblast, which I don't think they were there at this point, so maybe not the wisest decision there for me. So we are going to be able to at least be able to get out the answer for the Registeel, which is going to be nice. But also, I am going to still keep the best answer for Carbink in the back, which is the main reason why you kind of want to swap out into the Pomo here right now, as we can get the shield back from the opponent. And I'm just going to use this opportunity here to get a ton of energy onto my Mantine, because maybe that can come in clutch later on. Of course, I know that I'm going to get aligned against the Carbink again now, so I'm going to swap out immediately without even thinking into my Registeel as soon as the opponent is going to swap into the Carbink. And they're going to stay in for a little bit. This is going to be amazing for me, because like this, I can go for a charge move, but also I can now try to go ahead and... Oh, we're actually going to not get the debuff here again against the opponent, by the way. I lost count from them before, but of course here we don't get any debuff either. But here we're going to still see that the opponent is going to be double weak against Registeel in the back, which is going to be fine for me, as we are now going to be able to just hit a Focus Blast against them afterwards. The Power Whip does basically 0 damage. This is going to get the knockout, and I can align my perfect Pokemon against the opponent's Carbink, flipping the entire match up here, which is going to be just amazing. So that's why you kind of want to swap in the Pomo there if the opponent is going to have something like a Carbink in the lead. It's just easier to do that, because you kind of want to always keep the hardest answer to the lost lead in the back. Again, another Zap Cannon, I think it was, and another no debuff here, which makes this matchup a little bit closer, which doesn't really matter because I can go for an Ice Beam. But the amount of no drops from the Zap Cannon, again, is wild. I'm fairly certain I'm currently at more no drops than drops with the Zap Cannon with a 66% chance, so That's my luck. Another Carbink, by the way, and we're going to swap out again into our Pomo, and again we're going to try to somehow counter the opponent, but they're actually running the Trevenant in the back, which is going to be a little bit of a trickier one, as we are going to be forced to go for a Wild Charge here, going to do some decent damage. I'm actually going to use a shield here, because I was either thinking maybe I can spark him down at this point, because the damage output was insane, which I can see here right now is not the case. So I'm going to try to go for a Wild Charge and try to knock them out here, but they're going to use a shield, and I can now just farm them down with my Mantine. As well as I'm going to wait out the clock, of course, so I can swap out immediately as the Carbink comes back in. Now we just have to hope there's something in the back that we can beat here with our Registeel, as I can at least underline the clock, which I always like to do. Zapcan comes through, and the opponent is going to swap out now into the Sableye right now, which is going to be fine for me. I can use a shield, I should have some energy onto my Mantine as well, and I can go for the Zapcan against the opponent, which should get hopefully the drop here, and it does now. That's going to be nice for us, as we are going to have to, yeah, let this move go through. It's going to do some decent damage. I can try to go up to the Zap Cannon, and now we can try to go for a full farm down against the opponent, which should work out fairly well. Foul play comes through. I should still be able to even survive a Rock Slide, I think, from this range, but not the Rock Throws after a while. I can still go for an Ice Beam here and try to get them low. And at this point of time, it just really depends if my Registeel going to get the debuff against them. We should be able to win CMP tie against the Carbink. So we're going to see that here right now. They're going to farm me all the way down. Can we get the debuff here? This is the question. If we do, we're going to be able to easily win this game. And of course, we don't. And like this, the opponent can go for a charge move, which is the Moonblast, going to do a ton of damage. And we still win by exactly 1 HP. But honestly, again, like, if I would get a debuff there, it would have been so much easier. Like, why? But next opponent, we're going to have a horrible lead, most likely the worst possible lead for this team, as we're going to stay in here, wait until they go for a Breaking Swipe. So we're at least going to get out of this matchup with a ton of energy and an Ice Beam stored. We had some lag there, so we are a little bit, I think we lost most likely 2 turns or something there due to the lag. But you can swap out into the Pomo, as the opponent is going to swap into the Skeledirge, and I make a huge mistake here. I thought I would still be able to survive an Incinerate, which I clearly wasn't able to. So the opponent can farm me all the way down, and I am at a huge disadvantage. But they played a little bit weird here with a Skeledirge. I'm not gonna lie, that's a little bit awkward how they played it here. They are way above 100 energy at this point. So I'm going to use a shield. It's going to be a crunch for whatever reason, and I don't know why they didn't go straight for the next charge move, because now I can still go for another charge move, and I can just knock them out. So they misplayed quite a lot there with a Skeledirge, as I misplayed with my Pomo. I could have been already able to get like a shield or something from the opponent before. But now it's all coming down to if Reggie is still going to be able to win this game or not. So let's find out together. We're going to now see the opponent going for a shield against the Focus Blast, as I can reach another one. And I am fairly lucky here right now, as the opponent is going to let this move go through. I can farm them all the way down just before they can go for the Earthquake. And in the back it's going to be a Lavesta, a Pokemon I actually kind of wanted to build as well, but I have not done so yet. So we're going to see actually even it's a best buddied variant. We're going to see the charge move coming through from the opponent's going to be the Flame Charge. And we see now the charge move going through here with the Wing Attack plus Aerial Ace, knocking out the Lavesta, winning us this game. We both choked the game pretty hard. As you can now take a look at the battle against the MEWeedle here, which is of course the world champion also for Pokemon Go. You're going to see that I tried to catch a move, definitely worked out super well for me. Okay, they had no real reason to go straight for that charge move there, because I don't really threaten them with Mantine. And of course we're gonna get Hardwalled. Imagine getting a debuff with Zapkin of Registeel. Of course we don't. As we're going to now see the dig coming through here from the opponent, and we will be able to shoot up another one. I try to realign somehow here, but as you can see, I'm going to try to get another one here right now. Hopefully we're gonna get the debuff this time around, and we definitely do here, which is great. Nice, 50% chance so far for this battle at least. As I can go and try to snipe them with an Aerial Ace, didn't work out. Of course I can go into the Deoxys. I'm fairly certain I can still survive this move here, but it is not really looking too good for us. We have both no shields. But Pomo is part Fighting type, so Pomo will not go into the Deoxys, as one charge move is going to knock them out, like one Psycho Boost. But also, the opponent is going to still have a Gligar in the back, which is X to the move Dig, and they're going to be able to outspeed both of my Pokemon. So what am I really supposed to do here right now? I'm not sure, and the answer is most likely nothing. They have a ton of energy here onto the Gligar, as they swapped out with like 70 energy or something, and they can just go ahead and go for 2 digs and win this game. And that's going to be all set for today's video. So if you haven't checked out the video about the top teams of the Great League, check them out. They are on the screen right now, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.